Rick Ector joins us on the program. Rick, how are you, my friend?
Man, I am great. And you know what? It's really surprising. We got some really unseasonably warm weather this current day. And, you know, we're just out of that polar vortex mess a couple of weeks ago. So I'm feeling really great today.
That's good. The glaciers have started to recede from these streets of Detroit.
Oh, yeah, man. We got a lot of that Canadian weather that drifted from up north down here, and it was miserable. Hopefully now, you know, spring has finally sprung. We got snow a few days ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, a few days ago we had snow.
Man, that is ridiculous. No snow forecast for Indianapolis. You going to be able to make it down?
I'm going to be there, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you and the crew. And just to let you know, I'm giving the guys a big high five for holding it down while you were absent for a while. And looking for my buddies I've met all over the years, like Nick Perino out of Indy. So I'll be in his backyard, and hopefully Pastor Blanchard to be there, and my fellow gun bloggers. Man, I'm looking for a great time this week.
Yeah, I am too. I got to tell you, it just seems to be getting bigger and better every year. There are a lot of folks. I know a lot of first timers actually, just from the press, and I think it's fair to say they're going to cover this. They'll be working, but they choose to cover the NRA annual meeting. They're excited about going and covering the NRA annual meeting.
Tens of thousands of people coming into your town, and just the economic value of all of us coming into one city, you know, over one weekend. And plus, you know, we're here with a positive message. We're talking about freedom and gun rights and gun ownership and safety. I mean, who couldn't welcome and cover that news event?
I have one guy, his name starts with a B, but
right, that guy.
That guy, yeah. So listen, I want to talk to you about this story from the Detroit Free Press. You know, it's great to see the public statements not only by Chief James Craig, but also Sergeant Michael Woody of the Detroit Police Department. You know, responding to these armed citizen stories. But the fact remains that there are some problems. They go back to the previous administration, going back years, actually. 2008, the Detroit Police Crime Lab closes, and then somewhere along the line, for decades, Rick, it looks like these rape evidence kits, they took the rape evidence kits, and then they just sort of filed them away in a warehouse somewhere and forgot about them.
Yeah, just tossed them in a virtual closet somewhere. You know, it was mind-boggling, you know, and startling to those of us here locally when that announcement was first made 5 years ago, that they had at least anywhere from 10 to 11,000 unprocessed rape kits. You know, each one of those kits represents a rape. And in the 5 years since then, they've only tested about 20% of them. And just from those results alone, man, there's hundreds of serial rapists, guys that have, you know, assaulted someone sexually more than one time, you know, and these kits go back, I think there's some that go back at least 20 years. So it's very embarrassing. You know, it's sad that our lack of attention to detail, maybe we had a lack of resources there, man, but this problem should not have been allowed to persist this long.
No, I mean, you know, the Detroit Free Press talks about Deshaun Starks. They say a Free Press investigation showed he was paroled in March of 2013 after a 9-year stint in prison. Despite multiple DNA results that linked him to rapes, he's now a suspect in a 2013 Detroit homicide committed soon after his release. They say that serial rapists like Marks fall through the cracks because of how this evidence was originally handled, and then again the slow process of testing these kits.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just the gargantuan task that they have of just testing these kits, man, you got to also take into account they're going to need massive amounts of manpower to pull those cases if they can find them. And if they can't even find them, then they're going to have to try to recreate a new evidence kit, and then they're going to have to try to find the victims, and then they're going to have to try to find the actual suspects. I mean, yes, test the kits, get the kits tested, man, but still, it's still going to require much more resources to finally get justice done. And the other 80% of those kits that are currently untested. And we got people running around here that may be free, that may be incarcerated. It just represents a lot of victims out here who aren't going to get justice until we can get the resources together.
Absolutely, man. I mean, another story here. Eric Eugene Wilkes, they talk about June 21st, 2006. Wilkes pretended to be an undercover police officer. He offered a deaf woman a ride home. She said, yeah. He drove her to an intersection nearby where he raped her, tried to clean her to destroy evidence, and then let her go, according to prosecutors. She went to a hospital, and a rape kit was collected, but it wasn't tested for 6 years. For 6 years. Once it was finally tested, it linked Eric Eugene Wilkes to several other rape cases, according to the prosecutor's office. So he was accused of raping a 35-year-old woman on August 14th of 2011, a 30-year-old woman on August 25th, 2011, a 20-year-old woman on December 13th, 2011. Remember, the original rape was reported on June 21st, 2006. This guy was linked to rapes, 3 rapes just in 2011. Rick, you have to think there may very well have been other rapes in the 5-year period that we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation. And you know what? We perennially, at least for the last several years, have had an out-of-control sexual assault problem. It's one of the things that gets foreshadowed by the problems we've had with shootings and with carjackings and with home invasions and with homicides. So it's really hard to see how the rape problem that we very much have, how it could get, pushed into the background, man. But, it's a problem. And it's one of the reasons why I'm strongly pushing for women to explore, means of empowerment to at least assume more of a role in their personal protection, because there's a lot of women that are being sexually assaulted here.
Well, and look, you got this group, was it Detroiters Against Police Brutality or whatever, that's ticked off that the police chief, they say the police chief is encouraging vigilantism by...
Yeah, I was actually on, a local show here in Detroit with that one guy.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to dignify him by mentioning his name, but, man, he's got some rather interesting views that he shared on the show. He somehow thinks that, law-abiding citizens at home would legally possess firearms defending themselves and their families by shooting home invaders, that's vigilantism. And one of the things he shared on the program the other night, this past Thursday night, was that if someone breaks in your house, he's recommending the people to do to grab the person by the hand and try to lead them in prayer. So, I definitely have a different, mindset. Once someone has made a conscious decision to come into your home and they know that you are home, if they just wanted your property, they would wait until the premises were vacated. They come in while you're there, and they're willfully assuming responsibility for all the actions that proceed from them coming in. So, at least here in Michigan, it's presumed as a matter of law that if someone home invades you, that it's automatically presumed to be a threat of great bodily harm or death. So I implore people to continue to save and protect their families when these bad guys come in their homes.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. I choose differently.
Absolutely. As much as I appreciate my right to defend myself and my family, if someone else out there does not want to defend themselves, I don't agree with them, but I respect their right. I respect their right not to fight for their lives and their safety.
Absolutely. Listen, Rick, I appreciate you coming on the program, sir, and really looking forward to seeing you in Indianapolis coming up later on in the week.
I can't wait. Hopefully you guys have some time for me to get on the show. Looking forward to seeing you, Mr. Pop, Mr. Edwards, and the rest of the crew, and running into my buddies from all over the country. I'm looking forward to it and can't wait.
All right, Rick. Thank you so much, sir. We'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. See you this week.
All right, Rick Ector from Rick's Farm Academy in Detroit, Michigan.